Logos, ethos, and pathos. Three ancient Greek words created by the Greek philosopher Aristotle, which translate to logic, empathy, and deep emotion. The three sides of human nature which people appeal to in hopes of getting their point across in an effective way. And today, our group will be appealing to your logos, ethos, and pathos to explain how awareness, understanding, and acceptance are the three keys to lifelong mental health. Mental health. For many, these words come with an undermining sense of fear caused by lack of knowledge or experience. But what many people don't realise about mental health is that it's not just the absence of an illness or disorder, but in fact, it's a spectrum and cannot be classed into simple categories. You need to know that mental health does not simply mean the same thing as mental illness. When we talk about somebody's mental health, we talk about their condition in regards to their psychological and emotional well-being. But when we talk about somebody's mental illness, we talk about a health problem that significantly affects how they think, behave, and interact with other people. When some people hear the term mental illness, they automatically focus their attention on the extreme side of the spectrum, rather than looking at the smaller, everyday things that contribute to a person's overall mental health. The term is commonly associated with extreme conditions, yet people fail to realise the common challenges which face our friends, family, and even ourselves every day. Mental illness results from complex interactions between the mind, body, and environment. Factors which can contribute to mental illnesses are biological, such as chemistry, hormones, and genetics, constant negative thoughts or low self-esteem, social factors such as isolation, financial problems, violence, or family breakdown. However, much like physical health, mental health does not just encompass the severe illnesses, but the minor bumps and bruises too. Having good physical health means that we can run around, jump up and down, play sport, and swim, in the same way that having good mental health gives us an overall sense of well-being and confidence and self-esteem. It enables us to fully enjoy and appreciate other people, day-to-day life, and face life's many challenges. When we are mentally healthy, we can form positive relationships, use our abilities to reach our potential. But we need to keep in mind that not all wounds are visible, which means that the symptoms of mental illness will not be as obvious as the symptoms of physical illness. In each year, approximately 1 in every 5 people living in Australia will experience some form of mental illness. This calculates to roughly 4.6 million people and is a shocking statistic that really shows how common it is to have a mental illness. It shows that having a problem with your mental health doesn't make you strange or weird. It doesn't mean you should be isolated from others, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't seek help.
Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Marie Curie. Much like a fear of the dark, negative perceptions of mental health originate from a fear of the unknown. Understanding means to be insightful, and to be insightful, we must first be knowledgeable. Sure, positive, lifelong mental health is no easy feat, but Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. And we truly believe that lifelong mental health begins with you. If we can grow in awareness and understanding together, then we are more likely to seek help and improve our own mental health, and we are better equipped to help our family and friends. Depression is one of the most common mental health problems facing young Australians, yet there are still misconceptions surrounding the condition. Many young people tend to use the term depressed very loosely, but what exactly is depression? We all experience feelings of sadness, disappointment, and irritability here and there, and even temporarily, we know how negative they can make us feel. But for a person suffering from clinical depression, these emotions are intense and last for weeks and even months at a time. the person becomes so overwhelmed with negativity that they may begin to isolate themselves from family and friends, and even lose interest in activities that they would previously enjoy. Day-to-day life becomes a struggle, like a constant battle. The distressing part, though, the person begins to feel helpless. But really, this isn't the case. So now that you are able to distinguish between having a bad day and having depression, we ask you to think twice the next time you label yourself depressed if you miss out on concert tickets or get one bad mark on that test. We often underestimate the power of our words and the impact that they can have on the lives of other people. Depression is by no means easy to live with, and we have no right to devalue its severity and the negative impact it has on the lives of many. Our brain and our mental health is something that we must live with each and every day. It is not like a difficult game or an awkward conversation that we can simply walk away from. There really is no escaping our mindset. This is why we cannot stress enough the importance of maintaining a positive mental health. Just as we must be happy in our own skin, we must be comfortable with our mental health. The truth of the matter is there is no manual for positive mental health. Just like baking a cake in which the ingredients and methods may vary, every individual has a different recipe for success. But just as crucial of an element that chocolate is to chocolate cake, so are our family and friends in shaping our mental health. Therefore, it is up to you to be that icing on the cake, to help not only others, but first of all, help yourself. I suppose psychologist Noam Spencer summed up mental health to a T when he said, mental health is not a destination, but a process. It's about how you drive, not where you're going.
The key to lifelong mental health is easier than it may seem. All that is needed is awareness and understanding, and to accept. Acceptance is the action of consenting to receive or undertake something offered. Today we have offered information that will make you aware and understand mental health, but now you need to accept. And in order to accept, the information that has been offered to you needs to be undertaken and is needed to be used in your daily lives to set the right example, to get rid of the stigma, and to help yourself as well as others in accepting mental health. Bill Clinton said, "Mental illness is nothing to be ashamed of, but stigma and bias shame us all." Unfortunately, this is true, which makes it difficult to accept mental illnesses. People with a mental illness are looked down on, when truly they are equal to everybody else. Social acceptance plays a huge role in the recovery of a mental illness. It is extremely important as many people don't understand or aren't aware of mental illness, hence they don't know how to embrace a friend or others who have a disease. When not accepted socially, people with a mental illness are left with feelings of exclusion and confusion. In this day and age, it's hard to accept people with a mental illness, or even yourself, because of the unrealistic stigma that surrounds it. However, just because it is hard, it does not mean it's unachievable. If we gave up on everything because it was hard, nothing will ever be achieved. The stigma around mental health can easily be broken the same way it began. Just like dropping a stone into a lake, at first, only the spot where the stone is thrown is affected. But soon, the whole lake is filled with the ripples from that one stone. To get rid of the stigma, all that is needed is one person to create a ripple, and that person is you. Although it is important to accept others who have a mental illness, it is also important to be comfortable with your own mental health. If you get nervous before a test, it doesn't mean you have anxiety. If you get upset for no reason, it doesn't mean you have depression. And if you like your work neat and tidy, it does not mean you have OCD. Though sometimes these factors can come to an extreme, and that's when you need to be aware and understand the circumstances in order to accept. It is important to know it's not your fault you have a mental illness, and it is equally important to accept you have a mental illness so you can control it and not be afraid. Having a mental illness isn't something to be embarrassed about. It is no different than having a cold or flu. It is just a process of your mind. Similarly, having a cold is a process of our body. If you don't accept yourself, you are losing your own battle. You are not your mental illness. You have a story to tell. You have a name, a history, and a personality. We could stand here all day and tell you shocking statistics about mental health, and we could try to help you be aware and understand, but it's up to you now to accept. But it's up to you now to accept these statistics and make a change. To find the key to lifelong mental health, you need to be aware of the facts, understand the circumstances, and accept the innocence of mental health in order to break the stigma and help yourself as well as others. The key is closer than it may seem. It's in the people around you, and may even be under your chair. No, guys, really, look under your chair. Now that you've found the keys to lifelong mental health, don't just leave it there. Take it and use it in your daily lives to unlock the potential of not only your own mental health, but also those around you. We leave you with the words of the late Robin Williams. No matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world. It's up to you now to use your words and ideas to change the lives of yourself and others. Thank you.